Welcome YouTube on this sunny May day here. It's going to be about 70 degrees. I just want to thank each and every one of you. The channel's hit 1,000 subscribers, and I never thought that I'd be here doing this. Thank all you guys for tuning in once in a while to see what I'm doing, or what I'm not doing most of the time. But anyhow, the 024, I got 1 or 2 more parts I'm going to order for that. Remember, a little bit at a time on that. 372, I have almost all the stuff for that. But there's something, once again, that I've been waiting for a long time, and I finally got one, and that's going to take precedence right now. So let's go in, check that out. All right, so I bet you're wondering, what's so important? What is it? Is it another Husky? Is it a Steel? Is it a Craftsman? Is it an Echo, perhaps? Makita? Yeah, none of the above. We got a Wilton Pow-R-Arm right here, a 303. I've been waiting for one of these for a long time. I've been watching them. This one isn't the mechanical one, obviously, with the lever. This one's hydraulic, and unfortunately the hydraulics do not work. So what I'm going to do today, as stuff falls on the floor here, I did end up ordering a kit for this from eBay. It's wheel cylinder stuff, you know, something I could have figured out, but I just want to get the thing up and running. It takes castor oil, so I ordered some castor oil for it. Now, the instructions are pretty good, and unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, you know, we won't be needing these for now. Probably wish I would have read them after, but just to disassemble this, that's what we're going to do now. Let's see what we got here. So I've already cracked the lower nuts loose. I had to use the hammer and my long pattern wrenches here to avoid some stress. So we're going to start with punching out. Get you down in here a little closer, maybe. We're going to take... I'll bring you over here. We're going to punch this pin out. Okay, right here. Yeah, you know what? I've been looking around for a long time for one of these, and they're just ridiculous money on eBay. They're just crazy. This particular one wasn't too far from me, within my traveling range. And boy, I had a hard time getting this because I don't know how long it had been advertised, and I didn't get a response back. Not very quickly, and I finally got a response. I'm out of town, you know, this is on a Tuesday. I'm out of town till Monday. So I don't want to pester somebody too much. So I email them back. Don't hear anything. Finally, 3-4 days after that, it's not available anymore. So I'm like, you know, this was $100. How can you beat that? Do I need it? You guys know what I'm going to do with it. Or I hope you know what I'm going to do with it. So anyways, I give up on it, and then another 3-4 days after that, I get an email. Hey, you're still interested in that vise? I'm like, well, heck yeah. So anyhow, I went and picked it up, and that's about it. We're here disassembling it. It's got some bolts on the bottom. I did mark these just with pencil right here, just so I know what side they go on. Probably not that big of a deal. But yeah, this is going to make a nice vise. I just can't believe what they get for these, especially the ones with the manual ones. They're crazy. $300, $400, $500 and up. Yeah, all set with that. Shouldn't be anything too complicated with this. Now, I really haven't seen anybody rebuild one of these on YouTube. Matter of fact, I haven't found too much information on the hydraulic ones. Another good thing about those directions that I noticed, now some of the other ones that I've seen, let me show you. This is the paperwork that came with it right here. It shows a little drain plug down there. This one does not have the drain plug, so it's a kind of a different unit, and it addresses how to fill it with the fluid in these directions here. So that I will be needing. Come on now. Yeah, I forgot what this is supposed to hold pressure-wise. It's supposed to support the weight. I don't know, like, I don't know what it is. It's a lot. A real lot. But if I'm just holding some saws up with it, that's all I'll need. Very clean. Okay. Now, let me be back. I don't know if I can take that out with a magnet. All right, let's check this out. Pretty strong blue point magnet here. And that's working pretty nice. That looks decent. Just a tad of rust here, but nice and smooth. Everything looks pretty decent on there. Set these back here. Okay, there's one seal down in there. And the seal's probably just dried up, and that's probably all that's wrong with it. There is some fluid in here. Okay, let me get a rag or a paper towel right here. Now, I did turn the small ultrasonic cleaner on over here, and it took about an hour to heat up from, let me see, it's been out here, I had some fluid out here, so it was 57 degrees. So to heat that up to, what are we at now? 60 degrees Celsius, we got that heated up to 140 degrees. So it took about an hour. So nice little cleaner there. Yeah, it's still pretty soft and pliable, but obviously maybe the other one was leaking. Who knows? Let me get a little tray to drain that oil out into. Fluid looks nice and clean. You know what I'm going to take? I'm just going to spray a little bit of carburetor cleaner down in here and let that drain out, and then I'll be back. So to pull this end collar piece out of here, this is just coarse thread, regular 3/8, I believe it's 16. So I'm just going to go like this with a piece of threaded rod. That pin is the only thing I believe that holds it in. So we'll see if we can pull that out. Probably should have locked that onto it, but might be all right. Oh yeah, it's coming out. So hopefully this helps somebody, as long as this works. A little more. In the end, well, that kit, like I say, I think that kit cost me 29 bucks. I just wanted it, and fortunately it came with those directions. So that was nice. Might help me out. A little bit of grease on there. That's where I was going to get the parts cleaner fired up here for that stuff. All right, so there's another metal piston in there. See if the strong magnet will pull that out. It's pretty strong, but it ain't pulling it out. So, what are we going to do here for that? Maybe that's the piece that's stuck. Who knows? That I don't know. So we got the piston cup. It's my flashlight. Unprepared. There's another cup down inside there. And what we can do, we can be real careful. I'll probably block this off. I may even put this back in and kind of block this off. I'll put a little compressed air in there, but should be really careful doing stuff with compressed air. All right, so that plunge is pretty much stuck down in there. So what I'm going to try to do, without ruining the paint and all this on here, I'm going to warm this up. And then I'll see if this magnet can kind of loosen it up. Now this magnet is wicked, super strong. Probably ain't going to pick this whole thing up, but it's a pretty strong magnet. So we'll see what we get. I may even take and put some penetrating fluid in there. All right, let me go get some. I doubt there's any rust inside there. I think it's a real tight fit, but who knows what we got. I actually could fill this, you know, reverse it, put some oil down in there. Actually, that might not be a bad idea, and put it in my press. If this doesn't work, it's probably what I'll end up doing. But hang in there. Filling that with oil and taking it out forcing it out the other way is probably the better way to do it. No, look at that. Quite simple. Yes. So there we have it. Let me get some of the stuff cleaned up and I'll be back. All right, so this is where I think the tricky part's going to come in, because I was reading on how to fill the fluid, and you're supposed to fill it through the bottom hole there, but obviously we can't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get this small seal in first. Obviously it's got to go in that way, and it's going to be quite difficult to get in there. But let me move you down here. This probably isn't going to be much easier for you to see, because I'm going to have to goof with this. Let me lubricate it with a little bit of the oil here. I'll actually put a little bit in here too. This is probably going to be the toughest part of the whole thing here. Because you want that facing in, you know, this is a large seal, but the lip, that's got to go in that way. Don't put it in that way. It's got to go in that way so you're, you know, forcing the fluid. Yeah, I'm going to have to try and stand this straight up here. Kind of difficult. Now you probably can't even see it. All right, hang in there. Well, you can kind of see, but I don't think this is going to help you at all, because I can't do both. So I got to get that lip down in there without tearing it. Let me try something. So one side should go in. And then we'll try and get the other side down in there. Again, kind of hard with no light here, but I know what it's got to do. See, we're kind of rocked right there on the one side. Start from the edge. And I think we're about there. One small little area right there. I don't want to tear it. There we go. Okay, we're in. If you can take a look at that. Just had to be real gentle with it. But we're in there. And now the directions say to just very gently put this in. Hey, that's got some WD-40 on it. Okay, just till that's touching. And I'm probably just going to put a little grease on this. Obviously, I'm unprepared. Be right back. And since there's no directions for this type with no filler on the bottom, I have an idea of what I'm going to do. And we shall see if it works. So I'm just putting a little bit of grease on the outside here. It had some on it. Doesn't need it. Probably not. Okay, we got to make sure your cutout for your pin is in the right spot. More or less, you can kind of eye that. Push that down in. Have a quick look with the flashlight. See if that's about how it goes. Could have marked it with something, but obviously I didn't. See how that looks. Just a tad more, I think we're good. And put a little grease on the pin here. Again, probably not necessary. Let's have a look from this side. Yeah, so we're pretty lined up there. I don't know if you can see. We look like we're pretty good. Needs to go in just a little bit further, I think. There we go. And then we'll put this in. Looking like it's going all right. Okay, we're in. So now we're right there. We didn't push that plunger in anymore. We're right there at the bottom of this. So what I'm going to do is, I think since this is so long, it's got a long throw. Let me get you back in here. Like I always say, sorry about that, but I talk to myself, talk to you. See, to throw with this, we're going to have to get in there a little bit. Now, we don't want to be threading this thing all the way in. So I think what I'm going to do is we'll get this in a little ways. And then we're going to end up filling this reservoir. I don't know how much, but it does say to thread this in till you can just feel it start to hit that cup. I don't feel anything yet. Of course, that bushing's kind of long. Very difficult here. That almost feels like it right there. So let's take a look to where our grease line is, just to make sure. And that's about the thickness of that. Yeah, so it looks like we just touched it. I'll put a little bit of grease on here too. So I think we'll be good right there. Right about there. Then it does mention air bubbles. Watch out for air bubbles. So I think what I'm going to do, let me get you set up so it's more comfortable for me. All right, so along with all the other mess here. So as far as filling this, I'm not really sure. It's probably a pre-measured amount that you put in, but I'm not sure. Well, you see down in there now, it does have a lip down in there, so this other piston cup doesn't go down that far. So I think I'm going to fill it up to about that amount, or a little bit higher. And just see what we get. It's just kind of guessing. It says kind of watch for air bubbles if you can. I'll kind of let it sit for a minute. It says you got to watch for air bubbles, but yeah, there's a few in there. But how are you going to bleed those out? Oh, could almost hear it. Actually, so we'll go like this. You won't be able to see it, but that way there will bleed the air bubbles out. Should. Because again, we're filling up in here to a point. So let me put some more in here. Okay, let me finish filling this up to approximately where I think it's going to go, and I'll be back, because I'm sure if you're still watching, you guys are probably bored as hell. So kind of a crude way to do this. We'll measure how far down the oil is. I am just touching the oil there. And we'll see what we got for our piston cup there. Or our metal, whatever you want to call that. So we're about a 1/2 inch. So I don't know if that'll be enough throw. It may be. I wish there was some, information about these, but I couldn't find anything anywhere. So I just don't want this thing sticking out a mile. You should be able to just do a quick little turn, quarter turn, half turn. And this obviously sits here, and it pushes directly on that, so that's got to be right there. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put maybe another 1/4 inch of oil in here. That's not really a 1/4 inch, but yeah, we're up about a 1/4 inch. Well, I think I'm going to put it together right here. I can always take it apart if it's not enough. I'm just trying to get some air bubbles out of here. I should actually have my plastic hammer. This will work though. Kind of like brakes, don't want any air in your brakes. All right, what's the difference? We're going to put the seal in. We're going to have air in there anyways, aren't we? We sure are. Unless, yeah, why don't we do that? No. Again, talking to myself, but hopefully this will help somebody out. Hey, let's put some oil on here. There's already some oil in this bore. Now what I'm going to do with something smooth, I'm going to try and slide this down so that will allow the air to get out of here. Carefully. This is not good. Not good. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, we're turning. That's all right, though. Maybe we can do it this way. It's kind of on an angle. So we're down there pretty close. Let's try this. This should square it up. And see what that looks like. Oh yeah. That's pretty square. All right. I don't know how well this will work, but it don't feel bad. Because we're going to want to have some pressure on this anyways, I would think. Yeah, so it'll have a little bit of drag. All right, I guess you guys are fine right there. Put our ball in. We'll put this down. Make sure we're... There we go. All right. Where's my mark? Screw these back on. What do you think? Think it's going to work or no? I think we're going to be all right. I kind of wish the threads weren't out so far, but that might change. If not, we may have to take it apart and put a little more then. Should really kind of measure it, how much is in there, but at this point, it don't really matter, as long as it works. Yeah, I wonder why they decided not to put any fill plug in the bottom. Probably cost of manufacturing, who knows. Got a little drag on there. I don't think that'll loosen it up, but it's gonna end up being a long video. But hopefully somebody will get something out of this. All right, what do you think? So we're pushing that in. Oh, perfect. I can feel the pressure down at the end. I wish it would release a little more, but that's probably the nature of the thing. I can feel the pressure right there, so we're tightening. Can move it a little bit. Oh, that's tight. I can't move it too much right now, but... All right. Now, I don't know if there's supposed to be any lubricant or anything in here, but... if there was a little less fluid in it, it might possibly, you know, move easier. I'm not sure how easy it's supposed to move. Or maybe there's supposed to be a little bit of grease in here. Probably that could help it out. But yeah, I think there's probably just a hair too much fluid. But anyways, it works. It sure does. All right, hopefully it helps somebody out, and we'll get this together. We'll get a bar or something mounted to this, and we'll have a nice chainsaw vise. Thanks for watching.